He goes nowhere quietly. You can be sure you'll hear from him in January. Quite simply, he's back.
Here it is, the Republicans' health care plan for America. Don't get sick. That's right, don't get sick. If you have insurance, don't get sick. If you don't have insurance, don't get sick. If you're sick, don't get sick. So the Republicans have a backup plan in case you do get sick. If you get sick in America, this is what the Republicans want you to do. If you get sick, America, the Republican health care plan is this: die quickly.
Democratic Congressman-elect Alan Grayson, newly elected in Florida's redrawn 9th Congressional District, joins me now. Congressman, many thanks for your time. That was one of the most memorable moments in a memorable health care debate. It sent ripples through the chattering class, as we refer to it, those insiders who think they know everything. They said, man, who is this guy? Look, it is great to see and hear your voice back in Washington. You will unsettle and ruffle a few feathers. So congratulations. What's number one on your agenda?
To make John Boehner cry.
Alan,
that's so easy, you know.
That's too easy for you. Come on, I want you to pick something harder than that.
Oh, how about full employment or universal health care? What about that?
All right. So, look, you are going to go to Washington to push a progressive agenda. How comfortable are you that after last night, the president understands this is now a time for a grand agenda, not just a grand bargain?
It remains to be seen. It's just too early to say. I couldn't tell from watching the campaign. I couldn't tell from his speech. I just don't know. I don't know if the president is going to try to fight for the middle class, fight to make America more equal, fight for the 99%, or whether the president's just going to try to play checkers with the other side and see how that works out.
Look, there is, as you know, enormous pressure, even though the public doesn't appreciate this, enormous pressure within the Beltway to reach a compromise, to play nice and not say things that sometimes need to be said but are not comfortable for people to hear. And so I sense, and the reason I'm so excited about your going back to Washington, you will push the White House and hold them accountable if they cave too quickly. What should the president's first offer to John Boehner be?
Wait a minute. Why talk about caving at all? You know, the Democrats won the election. And I'll tell you this, I'm upset by the idea that we would try to make our fiscal policy somehow more sound at the expense of our seniors. I don't understand why we want to do that. Why are we taking from the people who have nothing in order to feed the rich? I just don't get that. I don't understand why. I'm against cuts in benefits for Social Security, period. I'm against cuts in benefits in Medicare, period. We're just going to find another way to solve the deficit problem. We have to, because it's not fair to the seniors. We're not going to throw grandma for the train as long as I'm going to have anything to say about it.
Which means that it seems to me you are going to propose, and you and those who agree with you, and I'm one of them, a tax policy, a tax plan that will take us in a more progressive direction, that will close the loopholes. Will you actually lay out for the White House and you and colleagues say, here is in the Progressive Caucus, here is the plan, the alternative plan that would get us where we need to go, and when will you do that for us?
Yes, every year the Progressive Caucus has proposed an alternative budget, and this goes back for a long, long time. And the alternative budget is based in part upon progressive taxation. The idea that Mitt Romney should not be paying less in taxes than the secretary who works for Warren Buffett or anybody else. The idea that the rich should pay their fair share. And if we just go back to that principle, if we go back to the principle that a dollar is a dollar, and just because you're rich and you get it through capital gains doesn't mean you get some sort of special tax break, or if you get it through qualified dividends, you get it through some special tax break. If we go back to the sense that a dollar is a dollar, they're all green, let's tax them equally, that itself will go substantially to reduce the deficit. That tax break alone is over $100 billion a year.
Well, the notion of saying, as you just did, capital gains income is the same thing as ordinary income, tax them in an equal way. It was actually in Simpson-Bowles. Of course, people want to ignore that. And a critical report just came out from the Congressional Research Service saying that the premise of the entire Republican tax policy, which is that lowering tax rates on capital increases investment, is wrong. And it seems to me if you argue that point to the public, they will understand that what you're proposing is the right way to go, both on equity grounds and economic development grounds.
Yes, and let's stop stealing from the poor. They just don't have any money left.
No, I think that after what's been going on recently, that's certainly the case. Is there some irony that you appreciate that Alan West lost and you won? Do you see this as the shift in the tectonic plates of politics?
It's a massive upgrade in Allen's. That's how I see it. Possibly the greatest upgrade in Allens that humanity has ever seen.
All right. Well, it's a good thing you and he are not going to have desks right next to each other. I think maybe he would disagree with you, but I'll leave that since he's now out and you are in, and let's hope it continues that way. But it is kind of remarkable because the Tea Party got a thumping that nobody could have predicted 2 years ago. What do you think happened in the public that led to this?
Well, you know, I think there's been some abating in the public's willingness to listen to nonsense from the Koch brothers and the health insurance companies and Karl Rove and all these people who gin up all of these fancy ads that mean nothing. I think unfortunately the public has reached a point where it simply doesn't believe what it sees on TV, and therefore their so-called magic is not working any longer. But I think on a deeper level what it means is that the reason why the party is over for the Tea Party is because they couldn't come up with any solutions to any problems. Here it is more than 3 years later since I make that speech, and it's still true that as far as the Tea Party is concerned, if you don't have health insurance, then as far as they're concerned, if you get sick, you're out of luck. You know, just don't get sick. That was true then, it's true now. Even so, whether you're talking about employment, you're talking about education, you're talking about benefits, you're talking about anything that actually matters in people's lives, healthcare, housing, they've got no answers to anything. And so, of course, they're going to fail. That's a political dead end. They're ignoring the voters, so sooner or later the voters are going to ignore them.
Congressman, I think that's exactly right. What the Republicans found so problematic about that speech you gave on the floor was its accuracy, and you lanced the boil of their policies through the simplicity of how you articulated it. All I can say is it's wonderful to have you back. Congratulations on your win. Democratic Congressman-elect Alan Grayson of Florida. We look forward to having you on the show in months ahead.
Thank you. Thank you very much.